Hey, what's going on, guys? Tim here. So we are doing another tutorial today, and it is on a type of knife lanyard. So what we've got in front of us today is a paracord quick release noose knot lanyard. So essentially it's just a simple way of tying a noose knot that allows you to carry about a meter or a couple feet of paracord with you on your knife, or and or anything else you can think of attaching it to. And the way it's tied is that it allows you to tug on one end, and what's that's going to do, it's going to release all the paracord that's been kind of tied up and bundled up right here. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the most aesthetically pleasing lanyard, but I think this kind of leans more towards utility. And I just found it a pretty interesting way of carrying a bit of paracord with you. All right, so just to quickly demonstrate how this is going to work. And it still functions as a lanyard if you want to keep it on your knife to kind of snatch the knife out of your pocket. Oh, by the way, this is a Gray Mandua, really nice little pocket folder, great knife. But getting back to the lanyard, so what you're going to do is you're going to tug on this side, and what it's going to do, it will release all the paracord. So I'm going to do that right now, like that. There you go. See? So of course it's going to be a little tangled up, but as you can see, that releases all the paracord, and it's just a quick and easy way of storing some paracord with you on your knife. All right, so with that being said, let's get to the tutorial. All right, so I've got my 4 feet of paracord. I'm using red here, as you can see. I've got my knife that I'm going to put the lanyard on, and just for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to attach it to the knife, because that way I'll be fumbling around with the knife the whole time. But the way you would start is you just insert the paracord through the lanyard hole, and then we would tie our first knot to start it off with, the loop. Okay, so yeah, so getting to the first loop, yeah, of course you would put this end through your knife like so, and then what you're going to do is it's just basically tying like a slip knot almost with 2 passes. I think that's the right term. If not, please correct me. Anyways, so you're going to make your loop here. This is going to be attached to something here. And you're going to put it over the first strand. And then you're just going to do like about 3 passes, and then you're going to pass the strand back through the loops you made. So you may have to give yourself a little more. Just play with it as you go. And you don't really have to use exactly, so yeah, 1 loop like this. You don't exactly have to use 4 feet. You can use more if you want to store more paracord on there. So I've just done a 2nd loop. See, I'm keeping it kind of loose too. I don't want it too tight, otherwise it'll be hard to get the strand through. And then I'm going to do a 3rd loop on top like that. Okay? And on the 3rd one, I'm going to take it, pass it through these 2 loops that I made here. Okay, you may have to just play with it a bit to get the strand through. Alright, see, I've passed it through here. I did 2 loops, or 3 actually, and on the 3rd one I passed it back through the 2 loops I made. Now you're just going to cinch it tight. This is going to form the first loop that you saw on the lanyard. Just kind of pull it tight there. Okay, so you see I've got 2 nice little loops there, and a bit of excess here. If this is too much later on, you can trim it. Okay. Alright, so now that we've gotten our first loop formed, we're going to start the coil part of the noose knot. So you've got all the rest of your paracord on this right side here. So now you're just going to take the excess and just kind of double it like that. Now this middle section, this coil section, is up to you how long you want to make it. I think I'm just going to make it about 6 inches or so long. So now I've got it doubled over like that, and then I'm going to basically take it behind and start looping it around this doubled over paracord. Okay, so as you can see there, that's what that looks like there. So I'm going to start winding it around. Don't worry if there's a bit of a loop here, we can fix that in a second. Alright, so I'm going to take that and just loop it around a few times. Well, I'm going to loop it around and continue going all the way to the end of this loop. Okay, So you might find it easier just to turn the whole thing like this. Or you can, just bring it around like that. Okay? So I'm just going to continue winding my paracord around the doubled over strands here. Okay? So you can see that's what that looks like. And don't worry about that. You can fix that in a second. Alright, so now I've gotten to the point where I'm just about the end of my loop here. So what you're going to do now, normally if this was just plain, noose knot, you would just, insert this through the loop here, like that, and then you would yank this part down to tighten it off. That, in fact, that's, if you've owned a Chris Reeve knife, you can see that that's how they tie their, noose knot lanyards. But this is slightly different. Well, the Chris Reeve one's a little different too. So anyways, getting back to this. So on this last knot here, you're not going to go through the loop at the top at the end here. What you're going to do is on the final loop, see how I'm going to create a bit of space here, like that. On the final loop, you're going to take your excess end and go through the last loop here. So it's kind of just like tying a basic, overhand knot like that. Okay, like this, see? Very simple. And then you're just going to tighten that. Because if you were to go through the last loop here, when you tug on the lanyard, it's not going to quick deploy, it'll just get caught up. Alright? So now that we have that there, we can kind of fix it up a little bit. Even though it's not meant to be a very pretty lanyard, you can still make it look a little better. So I want to get bit of this excess out here, so I'm just going to tug. You just got to figure out which of these two strands to pull on. So if I nope, not that one, the other one. See how I'm just I'm tugging on this strand up here? That's going to pull the excess out. See? So now it looks a lot nicer. And then if you want to get rid of this bit of loop, you can just leave that there, or if you don't like it, you can just tug on this end here. Okay, so if you see, just going to make the loop smaller. Right, now don't pull it all the way. You want to leave a bit there, otherwise it will start to unravel. Okay. Alright guys, and we are done. So you now have your quick release noose knot lanyard. And this did occur to me as I was filming the tutorial. You don't necessarily have to attach the lanyard to your knife right away and start weaving from there, because it might be a little difficult to fumble around with it. You can always attach it at the end, like I've done so here. So I started the noose knot on this end, went all the way to here, and then I attached it to the knife at the very end. It's just that it will now unravel from this end, whereas if you started it, it would unravel from, the reverse end. Your knife would be up here, and it would unravel from the back. But I'm pretty sure it's about the same, right? So that's about it, guys. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, just a different way of carrying a bit of paracord with you on your knife or person. I'm sure there's other ways to do it too, but I found this one pretty easy to do, and it seems like something you can do on the fly if you're out hiking and you just want to take a bit of extra paracord with you and you want to travel a bit lighter. Who knows? You guys can decide what you want to do with it, right? So yeah, I think that's everything, guys. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please subscribe for more content every week. Alright, thanks guys. See you next time. Bye.